Don't we all really love a completely dysfunctional family? That's what Angela Tomaski has done with the infamous Gilberts, which comes to us from Penguin. She's written or taken the idea of the sort of the British dysfunctional family and kind of has stretched that to its absolute working limit. It starts at the moment where their ancestral home or family house, Thornwalk, is now in a state of great dilapidation, has been sold off to become a hotel. And we're taken through the house by someone who has the keys, who happens to be a sort of family friend, acquaintance from the village, and he's going to take us literally from room to room, drawing our attention to little objects, and all of those objects will then link to an episode in the life of this family. So we have a missing father, we have a very ineffectual mother who really sort of flaps her hands and has romantic ideas about things, and 5 children. So there's the kind of blustering, toxic first son who returns from the war in a very bad mood and has inflated ideas about sort of his ascendancy and his self-worth. There are 2 daughters, Lydia and Rosalind, who have kind of been misled by their mother about, the importance of love and beauty in their lives, and the mother herself comes under the influence of a toxic aunt who sort of wants to get them all married off, and they sort of are led astray by the ideas of romantic love. Then there's the too good to be true, real boy's own hero stuff, Jeremy, second son, who, I mean, he's hilarious. He's sort of altruistic and interested in animals and science and sort of netting the newts, or you don't net newts, do you? You catch them in, well, you probably could do, in class. The kid who sort of then goes off and becomes a hermit and helps out with the orphans, etc., etc. And lastly, we have Annabelle, who is kind of the watcher. Oh my goodness, she's infuriatingly passive. And, kind of her affections are a little bit misguided at times, and she's sent away to be treated for her oddness. The point to this, in a way, is looking back at the history of this family and how it all went so badly wrong. So really what Tomaski is doing is or at least I'm telling you this in my opinion, is she's kind of skewering, or like totally skewering, the Downton Abbey style balloon of the kind of gloriousness of the British past, or of any sort of noble past. She's having a look at, has an awful lot of fun with the stereotypes, because all of these characters really become parodies of themselves. She's looking a bit askance at sort of inappropriateness, like Annabelle has weird reading habits, totally inappropriate. There are inappropriate goings on with, what do you call that, sort of, mixing with the lower orders, and a whole load of inappropriateness going on that makes the novel, a comedy of, it's a comedy of manners, but it's also a comedy of disasters. And I think at a point I was sort of saying, am I annoyed by these people? Like, does my author, who has made them the butt of all of her jokes, and it's seriously funny, does she even like them? Do I like them? And then it kind of works on you that you're being asked to give them a second look, because they're fragile and they are vulnerable and they do mess it all up. And it's not just about laying blame, but you kind of learn to feel a sort of sympathy for them in their ways of going about life, because they've been led to believe by years of tradition that they're somehow better and owed more. So I think all of them kind of won my heart in a funny sort of way, some less than others. It's also a look at kind of the ideas of male ascendancy and male superiority and class superiority, and the entitlements that come with that, and probably goes back to, you know, child rearing, nature versus nurture, that old chestnut. The whole thing is delivered with magnificent aplomb. I mean, I laughed so much, conscious all the time that this was a kind of a holding up of an idea and like just shooting holes in it. It's a ripper. It's so much fun, but also gives you a bit of, you know, quite a lot of meat to chew on. So if you're not afraid of your, you know, your Downton Abbey style, oh, I love a romantic comedy or romantic historical romance. If you're not afraid to kind of, you know, stab a couple of holes in that, go for it. It's a great read. Now, that's all I'm going to talk to you about today, actually. So like and subscribe, obviously, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.